Hi, I'm Nick, and today we're going to show you how to resolve iOS WCAG non-text contrast violations. WCAG 1.4.11, titled Non-Text Contrast, states that the visual presentation of user interface components and graphical objects has a contrast ratio of at least 3:1 against adjacent colors. WCAG defines user interface components as a part of the content that the user perceives as a single control for a distinct function. Examples include links, buttons, text inputs, and checkboxes. Notice, this criteria does not apply to inactive user interface components. Examples of graphical objects include icons and graphs. Notice, not every part of a graph or icon needs to contrast with every other part, but rather only the parts that are necessary to convey the relevant information. The intent of the success criterion is to ensure that active user interface components and meaningful graphics can be distinguished by people with moderately low vision without the need of additional assistive technologies. For more details on the specifics of WCAG non-text contrast violations, check out this link here. Link also in the description down below. Let's go ahead and fix an iOS non-text contrast violation with the help of the Mesmer accessibility audit. But first, I'd like to take a moment to thank you for wanting to make your mobile application more accessible. Here we have a non-text contrast violation. We can explore the app map to find the screen containing this violation. Now that we know where this violation is located, let's launch an emulator so we can try navigating this violation for ourselves. Notice, we can use an emulator in this case, as this particular violation only pertains to the visual presentation of the object and does not need to access the programmatic accessibility attributes. From the emulator, we can see that the contrast between these stars in the background is very low, but sometimes it can be difficult to figure out exactly what the contrast is. For that purpose, we can use the tool Color Contrast Analyzer, link in the description down below. With this tool, we can select the particular values for the colors by using the selection tool. Here we'll select the yellow, and I've already selected the background color. And here we can clearly see that the contrast ratio is only 1.1:1, and we're failing the non-text contrast accessibility criteria. Let me go to the code and let's see if we can resolve this violation. It appears there is no programmatic attribute for us to modify to change the color of this object, as this object is rendered directly from a PNG. Thus, we can resolve this violation by modifying the colors of this PNG directly. Now that we've changed the colors to black, let's launch our emulator so we can double check that the contrast is substantial enough to meet the success criteria. From the emulator, we can already see that the contrast is substantially better with reference to these objects. We can also pull up our Color Contrast Analyzer to sample the colors to make sure that we're meeting this criteria. Here we can see we're passing the WCAG criteria for non-text contrast, thus resolving this violation. And just like that, we resolved our iOS WCAG non-text contrast accessibility violation. How do you evaluate the accessibility of your application? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and happy developing!